just for the sake of fairness, if you're not all right, could I get like a little groan of pain? Oh, there you go. I tried, there you go. I'm glad most of you are well. I'm not. Mentally or physically. I've got a bit of a weird brain. It gets very obsessed with things that really aren't worth its time. It's a master of the completely unsolicited deep dive, my brain. I do have a coping mechanism though. I do, and I would recommend this to any of you, stand-up comedy. Immediately lends all my neuroses a bit of gravitas because I'm talking about them into a microphone and not to a therapist like I should be. But yeah, the thing that my brain's being preoccupied with at the moment is a certain poem and what it says about us as a society and as a species. I didn't write this poem, it's a traditional one, you probably know it, but I don't think we're asking enough questions about it. Okay, it begins like this. Monday's child, yeah, is fair of face. That's nice, isn't it? That's a nice start. Monday's child is fair of face. If you're born on a Monday, you're probably very attractive. At least I assume that's what they mean by fair. Fair can have a few different meanings though, can't it? Fair can just mean just okay. An appropriate answer to how was the Ed Sheeran concert? Fair. So it could be that Monday's child has a passable face, which is kind of damning with faint praise a bit, isn't it? Fair can also mean blonde, or a travelling carnival. Neither of which can really be applied to a face, can they? So I think we can rule those ones out. And also, of course, fair can mean the opposite of unfair. So it could be that Monday's child has the face that they deserve. Or that Monday's child, in terms of faces, isn't unjustly disadvantaged. Monday's child, like most children, has a face. It's probably safe to say that they mean fair as in pretty, but you can see how dense with meaning this poem is. You can see why it's been percolating round my brain. Did I say percolating? Yes, I did. Do I say it every time I do the set? Yes, I do. Is it the right word? Not sure. Okay, Monday's child is fair of face. Tuesday's child, full of grace. That's nice too, isn't it? 2 for 2. Love that for them. Tuesday's child is full of grace. If you're born on a Tuesday, your body's very graceful. You're probably very good at dancing or football or stripping or something like that. Actually, if you want to be a stripper, you're best being born right on the cusp between Monday and Tuesday. The attractive face and the... I might be overthinking this. If you know the poem, you know where we're going with it now. Wednesday's child, not attractive, not graceful. Wednesday's child is full of woe. And it's not even woe like Keanu Reeves, like whoa. No, it's woe as in misery. If you're born on a Wednesday, your defining feature is that you're miserable. Fuck you if you're born on a Wednesday, according to tradition. So I was born on a Wednesday. I was ADAB, assigned depressed at birth. And in my defence, you know, I have met, if not surpassed, my potential, so go me. To quickly finish off the poem, Thursday's child has far to go. If you're born on a Thursday, you pop out of your mother's downstairs area, the midwife immediately drop kicks you way across the field, the crowd goes wild. That's what happens if you're born on a Thursday. Friday's child is loving and giving. So if it's not so much stripping as sex work you're into, ideally you'd want to be born on a Friday. Saturday's child works hard for a living. He has to, because he's not attractive or graceful or kind, but at least he wasn't born on a Wednesday. And finally, the child that was born on the Sabbath day is bonny and blithe and good and homosexual, and that's the end of that. Rubbish. Don't don't get me wrong, I think it's absolutely fascinating and delightful the way we as humans find meaning in things, we find patterns in things, but that can lead us to doing illogical stuff like trying to put human beings in categories. And how do you alphabetize them? Like, there's very limited practical applications for that. You can't live your life like that with all your friends and family in alphabetical order. You absolutely cannot colour code them, that's just racism. But people still try to put people into categories. Like, for instance, I don't know about you, but I have some traits. Yep, I have some tendencies. There are some things about me. And a lot of people would tell you that all of these traits, all these tendencies, all these things about me were predestined by the zodiac sign that I was born under. And I don't think I'm an especially complex person, but I don't think my horoscope can account for all of me. Like, when I recently put both my hands in the bin in a public bathroom because I thought it was a Dyson Airblade. My first thought wasn't our typical Gemini. No. And my first thought was, why is there half a Nando's in here? Weird thing to do, eating Nando's in the toilet. Bet that person was a Libra, am I right? No, I'm not, because it's bollocks. We need better ways of categorising people, you know, if we must categorise people. And my pitch for this, okay, bear with me, the Dewey Decimal System. Now, if you don't know, the Dewey Decimal System is the system used traditionally by librarians to classify different types of books. And I'm not saying that I identify more with books than human beings, but I'm absolutely saying that, look at me. I think I could only come across more like a librarian if every time you laughed I shushed you. Yeah, the Dewey Decimal System, 999 categories, still not enough, but much better than 12 or 7. And it's a lot less cryptic. I think it kind of works. I've made some tentative forays into this. I've started categorising some people. My crush, I've put under 611, anatomy. My ex, 616, diseases. And for myself, I wasn't sure, but I went for 157 in the end. That's previously emotions and now no longer used. But these days, actually, there's a lot more talking about who we are and categorising ourselves, which I think is wonderful. People finding new ways to talk about themselves, new ways that they want other people to talk about them. And there are a lot of people out there, unfortunately, often the same people who are quite happy to call themselves a classic Taurus, you know, or a devout Christian, who get really, really cross about the way people identify themselves. Oh, they get so cross. I've recently been online dating, and I came across one guy. Didn't come across him. As soon as I saw his profile, my vagina just... Thank you. Closed for business. His bio said, I refuse to acknowledge anyone who uses pronouns. Now, my grammar nerds will know where this is going. I like to think that that's a dead profile now, because at some point he had some kind of grammatical epiphany about the words I and anyone, and immediately, by his own rules, ceased to exist. The way that I like to talk about myself most, though, the kind of box that I like to put myself in, is to do with the way in which my brain is broken. A lot of my friends suffer from anxiety. I have depression, you know, because I was born on a Wednesday. And one of the symptoms that I experience has the best and the least appropriate name. It's a thing called executive dysfunction. Oh, what a name. It just means that you really struggle to get things done, but what a beautiful name, executive dysfunction. Oh, ambassador. With this executive dysfunction, you're really stopping me from going to the toilet or making my dinner. Sorry, I couldn't come to your soiree tonight. I was attending an executive dysfunction. was disassociating for a full hour in the middle of getting dressed, just staring at my own arm, and not writing the final joke for this set. It's been absolutely amazing. I unfortunately have been Chrissy Derbyshire. Thank you so much.